What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family.
Finally.
Officially back.
Yes, guys. Sorry about that little stream.
Live stream. Yeah, sorry about that. We had some issues with some of our other settings, and we didn't get any notifications or anything, so we kind of scrapped it and started all over. So thank you so much for joining us here. Let us double check our audio on this stream, and we'll be right with you.
Thank you all. We are going to hit a lot of topics today. We're going to try to run through them, a lot of little things, a couple big things. So stay tuned.
There we go.
Let's see. Did you get the notification? Is it good?
So I
looks like
didn't
the notifications are coming late.
Yeah.
Looks like. What's up, Purple Gaming?
What's up, Purple Gaming?
You're back again first.
And Chase, I hope you're still out there. Thanks for joining us here, guys. We'll go ahead and give it a quick minute, and then we'll kind of jump right into it. So.
And again, guys, just to start it off, hit that like button. You know, hit subscribe if you're new. And hit the notification bell, guys, so you can catch us on these nightly live streams, Cowboy updates, and game day reaction streams, and of course, you know, any kind of go lives that we have throughout the day with any kind of breaking news. So, you know, obviously within Cowboy world, there's a lot of breaking news, pretty much all the time. So, give it another 30 seconds or so, and then we're gonna start going into the info, guys. And by the title, you guys can bet what the big news is.
So, yeah, guys, and we're going to go ahead and touch on that in just a minute, but I just want to go ahead and say our thoughts are with everybody in New York affected by that tragedy. It's just a very unfortunate situation, guys. We live in a very scary world.
Yeah, very, very scary, and it's, yeah. So, I mean, just all I can say is be safe, guys. Stay safe. I hope you guys had a happy Halloween yesterday, and you know, a lot of candy. Those who did go either take their kids or are themselves trick or treating. You know, we definitely got a couple extra candies from our children.
And guys, if you haven't already guessed or tried to guess what jersey I got as a birthday gift from my parents, it should be getting here hopefully sometime this weekend, maybe early next week. It depends on how fast the NFL shop works. But guys, go ahead and leave your guesses in the comments in the chat. And, you know, let's try to see who's right. Whoever's right is going to get a good little shout out on our channel and, you know, a little virtual high five from my Cowboys family. So, DJ Crown J, thanks for joining us.
What's up? What's up? One of our best donators in all forms. Him and Cowboys Abroad. Thank you both, by the way. I'm sure Cowboys Abroad will watch this either now or later. He'll be on.
So let's go ahead and jump right into some of the bigger news, guys. Some of the injuries on our team.
Yeah, just when you thought you were going to hear us say, you know, Zeke news. Oh no. Well, we are going to touch on Zeke news, but right now we're gonna. There's a notification, so everyone should be getting it now. So just as far as the Zeke news is concerned, guys, and it is.
And Michael, thanks for joining us.
Yes. What's up, Michael? Glad everyone's getting the notifications. They seem to be going out there a little late, about 2 or 3 minutes late. So that's why we kind of did our introductions. And now we're going to roll, guys. So
as far as Zeke, guys, Zeke, his legal team, the NFLPA, they filed their appeal in the 2nd District Court of Appeals. And we got to see a little bit of the language that they used to, you know, present his case. So give me just a minute here while I pull up.
Go ahead. Okay, no, I was going to do that. I'm sorry. We're going to kick it off with the injuries, guys. This is what's the biggest news here. So, Dez Bryant and DeMarcus Lawrence. Okay, Dez Bryant with a knee injury, DeMarcus Lawrence with a calf injury, were limited in practice today. They were both limited.
Chase, thanks for joining us again. What's up?
Thank you for joining us again. Yeah, sorry about that little hiccup.
But as far as Dez Bryant, we don't know when the injury happened, if it was during the game or in another time, but this is the first we're hearing about it, and like we said, he is limited in practice today. So definitely a little bit concerning. We never want any of our players hurt, but I guess I'm more concerned because we don't know how he got hurt. So, or how bad it is.
Yeah, so. No, exactly. And you know, that's one of those things where, you know, we'll be hearing and looking to see what Jason Garrett says tomorrow at his press conference and any kind of news that trickles out. But right now we haven't heard much. What's up, Gary Stokes? Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, Gary Stokes, Anthony Mixon. Yeah, guys, Zeke did not get fired. He was suspended, so he is suspended for 6 games. But like I said, he did file his appeal with the 2nd Court of Appeals, and we'll be reading a little bit more about the details. Yes, on that in just a minute.
So
as far as other injuries, guys, some guys were limited in practice, some guys did not practice, and some guys came back to practice.
Yeah. So right now we have Chido Awuzie, guys. He's the other guy that we've been missing for a couple of weeks. He still did not practice officially. He was on the field stretching, rehabbing, but not practicing.
Officially did not practice.
I think they're just going to take it easy with him, and we're hopeful that he'll play. But
I guess the main focus is they don't want this hamstring to become a lingering injury, and this is already the third time he's been injured it. He injured it once in training
but it's also the third week
already.
That he's been not playing. He's been just rehabbing. So I'm really curious to see how much we're going to see from him, and I hope that he can get out in the field. That's like of utmost importance in my opinion, especially with the play of Anthony Brown kind of diminishing a little bit. Here's Awuzie's chance to really
step up and make a name for himself,
or either take over at safety and then they move Xavier Woods there, or at corner, something like that, guys. They'll mix it up, or maybe Byron Jones, at corner. That's another possibility. So there's a lot of things that can come from that, but we still have to see him on the field, and he's not technically in practices or on the field. So that's unfortunate. Of course, the other guy with big news is Cole Beasley and his concussion. He also did not practice, but the thing is that we knew that already. We announced that earlier today, and
the good news is, though, as far as that, guys, is Jason Garrett said that Beasley looks good.
Yes.
He's still technically in the protocol.
Correct.
But he looks good. He's acting well. He, was interacting with the team today and was there. So, hopefully he will, be okay. Yeah. We should hopefully have him back. And like we said, he's just going to be day-to-day throughout this week. Right. Do expect him back hopefully sometime later on this week.
Yeah. Now, another big name that got put on this list today, which is a bit surprising, is DeMarcus Lawrence, guys, their defensive end. 10 and a half sacks, league leader in that. His calf is injured. He was limited at practice. Both him and Dez Bryant were limited at practice. Dez Bryant with his knee, DeMarcus Lawrence with his calf. We don't know if it was an injury that occurred in practice. I'm assuming that's
during the game.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think it would be something that, again, it would have been announced, I think. I'm afraid it's a practice injury.
Where did Dez get his knee injury? I'm just saying that we have two guys now who have injuries that we didn't know, and we didn't see anything in the game to show that they were injured or that something was going on. So I'm hopeful it's minor and that
again a calf injury with DeMarcus Lawrence could be someone cleated him, but he's got a bruise, or it could be a torn calf.
yeah, it's all those extremes. So
we don't know. He was limited.
DJ Crown J said it may be worse than they're telling us, and that kind of goes with the Rico thing. We only recently found out that it had some kind of jaw, neck involvement, his concussion, and that's why.
Yeah, you're not going to see him on the field, guys, anytime soon. He's been eligible for 2 weeks to practice. And he's been active. He's been able to be active this past week after week 8, and he still hasn't been activated.
Exactly.
Cowboys have a couple more weeks where they have to, shelf him for the whole year, and expect that at this moment right now, as far as Rico Gathers is concerned. But back to DeMarcus Lawrence, guys, we don't know what the extent of his calf injury is. When they say limited, a lot of times that means during practice, because they had half the practice, they were there, and then the other half, something happened, they tweaked something, they hurt something, who knows? And then even if you broke something, they would still be listed as limited. Even if you tore your ACL, they still list you as limited because you were at practice for a limited amount of time. Exactly. So we don't know what it is, and I'm not speculating, not at all with Dez or with DeMarcus Lawrence, but those were two names that stuck out. A couple other names on here, guys. Malik Collins, always scary to see him on the list, but he was on the list last week.
Yeah, so we knew foot injury, some kind of foot injury. It looks like that's still just kind of affecting him.
He was limited, so we know that comes from his lingering injury, so that's why he was limited today. Of course, Tyron Smith, guys, he did not practice at all. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's his regular Wednesday veteran day. He never practices on Wednesdays. That's kind of his rest day.
His regiment is already been official. He's not practicing Wednesdays. Kind of like I guess Williams from the Redskins, the left tackle, who actually did not play against us this past weekend. But he is also on that same kind of situation where he's not practicing not just Wednesdays. He's not practicing Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. So it's crazy.
So an Eagle fan, this is our last stream for the night, so we'll be giving you all the news here.
Yep.
But of course, you know us, we'll be bringing you the news again tomorrow.
Anything breaks at 2 a.m. and we're awake, we'll say.
And Anthony Mixon, we'll discuss our running back situation as soon as we're done going through all of the news. For sure. And Gary Stokes, we absolutely need DeMarcus Lawrence. That's why hopefully as the week goes on, we get either more news or we see him back in full practice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, super chamber come. I know, guys. Thank you all.
We're really working towards that, guys, because that's kind of like our current goal right now.
Yeah, the next goal on the list.
Because we know that that's going to be a great way for us to also interact with you guys.
Yes,
and
for sure.
We have some great ideas
for the super chat too, guys.
For the super chat, so that you guys can get involved as well. So I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Don't forget to guess, guys, what jersey you think that I am getting for my birthday. Since my parents gifted me a jersey, it is on its way. I'll be premiering it as soon as it arrives on that night stream.
Yeah, make sure you post your guesses. And guys, if you haven't already, hit the like button, thumbs up button for this stream. Helps out the channel.
That's right.
Also, hit the subscribe button if you're new, guys, and helping us grow. And hit the little notification bell so you get these go lives and the game day streams,
and Brian
everything.
Bradford, thanks for joining us. So he said, "Hello, I saw NFL Network Total Access. Heath says the Cowboys. Heath like Jeff."
No.
The
commentator,
he
former
says the
football
Cowboys
player.
will lose the next 5 games. He gave us the Giants game. Andy Reid will definitely outcoach the Cowboys and Garrett.
Well, that part you're right about getting outcoached. You're hoping that we can outskill them in this situation and do enough coaching to just
definitely
get
touch
by.
more on like each of those games.
Yes,
in
as
just
we get
a
closer.
little bit once we're done with the stream. Or, I mean, with the news.
Yeah, for sure. But mainly with the Chiefs, we're going to concentrate on them a little bit more today. But as we continue going, we'll give you more and more, guys. And Saturday's the usual, big Madden breakdown, and I'm going to do it there with the Chiefs, Cowboys, without Zeke. Without some Chiefs are going to be gone, guys. So we'll talk about that as the week progresses and see how their extent of injuries are. But finishing our side of things, as I said, Malik Collins, we discussed him already. We discussed Tyron Smith. Now, Kyle Wilbur, guys, was at full practice today, which he was at the game. He played in the game, so he was good to go. And Justin Durant, who had a hurt groin, Wilbur was his knee, by the way, but he's full practice. And Durant, who was inactive and had a hurt groin, a pulled groin or whatever.
Also
he was
back in full practice.
Yeah, full practice for him as well. And then let me see who if I missed. Yeah, Noah Brown, our rookie, seems precautionary. He had a thigh injury. Usually it's a contusion of some sort. He was limited. And then, of course, guys, Dan Bailey, we know he's out with his groin injury, right groin to be specific, and which I guess does matter when you're a kicker. Think about that.
I mean, it depends on which leg you use.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, guys, that's the rundown on the injury list, guys. So if you want to jump over to the quick Zeke information.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to keep it very brief,
quick,
just to let you know what's the latest update. So Ezekiel Elliott's team filed their appeal in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals.
Officially, yes.
Officially. So basically, those lawyers did a great job, but the NFL makes a big
Zeke's
point
lawyers,
on the NFLPA makes a big point on what the other judges found. So the fact that the other 3 judges kind of said that there was some kind of fundamental fairness issue. But the other another analyst is kind of saying, even though they use that argument, and guys, take everything I'm saying with the kind of thought in your head that regardless of what Zeke's team does, it's still very unlikely that his appeal will be successful.
Correct.
But I am bringing you guys the facts and letting you know what they said.
Yeah, I mean.
So Ezekiel Elliott's team says that this case presents the starkest possible case for irreparable harm. They're making the case that by him missing these 6 games, it does cause him irreparable harm. The average NFL career is only 4 years long.
Wow.
So he's for him
That's
to miss 6 games out of 4, the average 4 years, that's a big hit for a player. So
and running back especially, guys, they take a lot of hits, especially someone like him who gives hits.
Exactly, guys. So wrong direction. So here we go. So, and the other thing is that, remember, Judge Graves mainly granted the temporary restraining order because he didn't want to step on Judge Faya's toes. It wasn't necessarily...
Which one? Crotty.
Right? Crotty, sorry. Crotty. He didn't want to step on Judge Faya's toes. He didn't want to kind of overstep her decision. And they also argue that they're right, Ezekiel Elliott's legal team's right to examine, his main accuser, it is not...
Could not be more important, right?
Yeah, is the most important detail of the case, because the whole basis of the
lies on her.
Lies on her. Lies on her and her statement. So that Judge Faya is wrong as a legal matter, that the CBA doesn't give the arbitrator power to compel testimony. She said that they're saying that the judge kind of reworded the CBA to suit her needs in a way. So, and again, remember, this is
you
what
never know,
saying.
but yeah, it's probably not going to happen.
Exactly.
No.
So
with all these things, guys, that's the breakdown.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a very in-depth Zeke video later on this week, so make sure to keep your eyes posted for that if you are interested in that. So
let's get a shout outs here. Let's see, guys.
Ice thanks
what's
for
up,
joining
Ice Age?
us. Alid, what's up? I'm
and
glad
Justin
you're
Knapp,
us.
what's up?
Clayton. So let's go ahead and catch
No
up with
Patriots.
a few comments. So, Justin, I didn't see you there. What's up?
Yeah.
So
no Patriots.
16 watching 7 likes. Come on, guys, hit like.
Yeah, hit that like button. Come on, snap that.
So we have. Let me see. Someone said Jordan Lewis jersey, an old school Irving jersey. So I gotta say, I like your guesses. Let's see which one is right.
Yeah.
So let me see. As much as I hate to say it, even though it's BS, he probably should just get the 6-game suspension over and done with. At this point, I don't think he has much of a choice.
Well, yeah, but again, in my opinion, I think we both agree on this, is that
he has to fight it till the end.
Fight it to the end. Even if you lose, for your name, you can't just stop, because you have to go to the end with this. And deep pockets for the NFLPA, they can afford these $1,000 an hour lawyers. So give it all you got and make yourself look as good as possible. Because the NFL is trying to, smudge you, so you got to fight back and
Brian
do your
Bradford,
best.
as far as collusion, legally speaking,
it's over.
There's no
they can't
ground
appeal
for
on that.
collusion. There's nothing.
Because they already did that, right?
Yeah, well, no.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. They didn't appeal for collusion. The point is that they could try to make an argument for collusion, but legally speaking, there's no. Well, they don't have a basis, I guess, for the argument of collusion. True, that's what I'm trying to say. They already said there's no conflict of interest between her husband and the thing.
Well, they used that partially when their appeal against Judge Faya.
Yeah, but Judge Faya...
Right, she denied it. Exactly. But saying that they can't use it, can they use it again on this case?
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I really don't know, and from what I've seen, I don't know if they tried to use some of that same argument.
Some of the language, maybe crafting it differently. I think
from what it looks like they tried to go after more... that the fact that the actual decision she made was just wrong, not so much, she's colluding or she had a reason to do it, just that she wanted to manipulate the CBA in a way that she saw.
I see. Gotcha. So, okay, good.
That's just the way that I see it, guys. Please feel free to do your own research. I am not a lawyer or anything like that, but
Neither
I'm just trying
to
break it down like a regular Cowboys fan.
Thank you, baby. That was good. Yeah. I will say this, guys. Speaking of Roger Goodell and the NFL, they notified the Browns today that wide receiver Josh Gordon, much maligned and troubled guy as far as marijuana use, similar to Randall Gregory, he will be reinstated to the NFL on a conditional basis, guys. So he is officially back with the Browns. Yeah. But there's a condition. I'm not really sure what that conditional basis is.
Yeah, we don't know what the conditions are. But guys, I think what this means is Randy Gregory, I guess, has. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's guaranteed to come back. I'm just saying if this guy was able to come back, there's definitely a chance that Gregory one day could also, on a conditional basis, start working his way back into the league.
And again, not only that, also
keep your eyes open, guys.
Yeah, he won't be back until the next year officially. He can't come back. I don't think he legally can. He's going to apply for reinstatement soon. Yeah. And sometime in November, I think that's what they said, right? November sometime.
Yeah,
so
November, December, something.
If he gets it approved, he'll be back probably next year with some team in the NFL. But again, we could then at that moment, since we stuck with them, and it's really for the money to not release him because we're actually saving money by keeping him on the roster. There's a chance that we could re-sign him for a cheap deal. Won't take up too much. He could why not run him at training camp? He still can, if he can change his life,
why not
give him a chance.
Shot. At least give him a chance.
He's had 3 or 4 chances.
No, I mean like on the field, like not out off the field. If he messes up again, I don't really know what to say at that point.
But again, if you get him cheap, that's the key, guys. And a smart deal, cheap.
I don't see anybody signing him for that much money either.
I can see people taking a chance, though, but it depends how much they would take a chance for. And again, it comes down to, will he stick it out? Do we really need him that much? No. We're not going to overpay for him. But
is he worth to try, like you said, pick up on the cheap and see what we can get out of him?
A 1-year contract, see what we can do, put him on the spot, fill it with incentives, kind of like we did with Greg Hardy. Possible he could take that deal. So, guys, as far as the Kansas City Chiefs are concerned, our upcoming opponent on Sunday, it's going to be a battle, guys. They're a good all-around team. They're, 5-2, 6-2? 5-2? I don't know.
I think they're 5-2.
5-2, because they had their bye. Speaking of byes, I just want to make a quick note. Kelvin Benjamin could be the only player this season to have play 17 games. Because he was on Carolina before their bye, and now he went to the Bills, who already had their bye. So he gets 17. He could pad his stats some. Plus, it's good for fantasy, like myself.
Whoever has it for fantasy,
we do, baby.
Oh, do we? Yeah.
I think we do on this league. We do.
Yeah, sorry guys. When it comes to the teams, I really only know my fantasy team in our private league.
Yeah. So guys, let me just say this real quick. So this guard was at Lavont Tardif, I don't know the guy. He was at full practice.
Laurent Duvernay Tardif.
Yeah, Benny Logan, defensive tackle, knee, full practice. Mitch Moore, center, his foot, full practice, and Brian Witzman, guard, abdomen, full practice. Those guys are going to play. Now, the guys that were limited on the Chiefs were Demetrius Harris, tight end, shoulder injury. Again, remember, guys, they have, of course, Travis Kelce, so you're not going to see much of this Demetrius Harris. You're going to see Justin Houston, who's really a really good linebacker, guys, one of the best. His knee, he was limited. I haven't heard much about him not playing, so I'm guessing this is precautionary when it comes to Justin Houston, but he's there like Von Miller, guys, so get ready. We got to make sure we stop him. I think he's number 50, but correct me if I'm wrong, guys. And then the did not practice, which is the big one. There was 2 of them. There was Albert Wilson, receiver with a hamstring. He did not practice, but I think he's a deep receiver there, like one of like Arnoa Brown or something like that. D. Ford, linebacker. He's the one that's looking to miss this game. He has a back injury, did not practice. So look for that to be another key for our offensive line, to look to pound the rock and run the ball with our running backs, guys, which I know you guys want to talk about. I just want to say one thing about the Chiefs. They're removing linebacker Tamba Hali. knee injury. All right, he's coming off the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list. So he's I think they activated him. So he will be begin practicing today.
Does that mean that we can expect to see him this game? Or is that too early to tell?
It's one of those close calls. I don't expect to see this guy playing, but he could definitely replace Dee Ford, you know what I'm saying, which would be a big deal for their entire team, you know, for their defense. So it'll make the running game a little bit harder if they're both out there. Now, if they're both not out there, that would make it a lot easier to run. Plus, Houston is also, you know, injured and not 100%, so he's limited at practice. We'll see if that's a vet day or if it's something that lingers. But either way, guys, you know, we'll see. We got to work that same idea we did the last 2 games with the Redskins and the Niners, and they were banged up on offensive line. We attacked it. They were banged up on their linebacking and front defensive line. We attacked it. We got to do that against our upcoming opponent, the Chiefs, the much tougher Chiefs than both these last teams.
I want to catch up a little bit with the chat here. DJ Crown J said, so Alfred Morris is going to be taking most of the snaps. No. Yes and no. The thing is that they you know, McFadden made a comment that he said that he wasn't sure why he has been inactive as long as he has been, but that it's a coaching decision, that, you know, he's just glad for the opportunity and he's going to do what he has to do. He knows what he has to do. Yeah. But I expect the Cowboys to play, I keep hearing this a lot, but by committee. All that means is all three of those guys are going to get their hands on the ball. I think that we're going to see McFadden get more carries.
I think as time goes on, it will happen. I think as a couple weeks go by,
it might be more conditional on the team. I think it might depend a little more on the team. I would have to do more research on the actual teams, their defenses, and see what that's like, because again, I think it might be more of a situational thing. But I expect all 3 of those guys to, you know, get their hands on the ball and have something to do with our running game. And Byron Jones does have his work cut out for him. So,
but the whole team does, guys. This this offense with Tyreek Hill and possible rookie of the year candidate, definitely rookie of the year candidate, Kareem Hunt. You know, these guys can do some stuff with Alex Smith and as the quarterback there. They can do both things, guys, and they can get those. They can pass. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a big fan of Alex Smith. Never have been. I don't think I ever will be. I know he put up some big numbers so far, but I can see he's usually putting up, like last year he put up like 210 would be like average for him, or 230. You know, it was just a different team this year, and you know it shows. But again, they're coming back down to earth, and their defense, although very good, exactly, back to reality. But their defense is good. But what I've been hearing from their fans is that they're a little worried about their run defense. The way they play the run defense is an issue for the Chiefs. So that's something that, again, as I've been saying, like we did the last couple of weeks, let's take advantage.
Yeah, and again, our offensive line excels at run blocking. You know, we have, you know, a team that's set up for the run. Yes. So we should be able to get some traction against Kansas City. It's gonna be close. I do think we're gonna end up losing. I don't think we'll lose by more than 14 points. Hopefully. You know what I mean?
I disagree.
I think the Cowboys have a chance to win, but I don't think they're mentally in a spot to win right now. Do I think they can do it? Yes. But I don't think mentally they're in a good spot. And 2, I just think that kind of happens every game, guys, but I just think the coaches are going to blow it, really. Right. I think the coaches are going to make some bad calls here, and it's not going to necessarily come down to the players, but more, you know, we kind of saw it last game, too, where one of the most confusing calls of the game was we had about a minute left in the second half, and we just... It just, everything in that whole drive was just very confusing. So, and that comes down to coaching. Yeah. So,
no, I agree.
Let's see.
No. Let's some shout outs real quick.
Yeah. So.
And again, Virgil, we talked, what's up? How you doing?
OMFG Google, Lead Aubrey, Virgil.
Beast Mode Gamer, what's up? Yeah, but Virgil, Cole Beasley, we discussed him. He's concussion. He's looking good. He's still in the concussion protocol, technically, as of today. Hopefully tomorrow he'll be off of that. That's what we're expecting. Tomorrow he'll be off. And hopefully some kind of practice, a little more than just did not practice, which was today. He probably limited.
Abroad, thanks for joining us. So Lead Aubrey says the key to beating Kansas City is putting pressure on Alex Smith.
Correct.
So let's talk a little about that pressure, guys. David Irving, we have DeMarcus Lawrence, we have Tyrone Crawford, guys. I mean, you know, I'm talking those 3 guys because those are the 3 guys that have been.
And don't forget Malik Collins.
And Malik Collins. Those 3-4 guys have been the playmakers. So I think that David Irving is going to get a sack this game again.
I think they both
have the feeling. No, I have the feeling DeMarcus Lawrence won't. I think that either Crawford or Mayowa will, or Collins. Sorry.
Now,
Collins
how about Taco?
Crawford. Not in this
Not
game,
yet.
Taco.
Okay.
No, actually, if Taco's going to get a sack, it's probably going to be against the Falcons. And I know that seems very strange, but out of all the teams we face, I think either the Falcons or the Giants, I think, are the 2 teams that Taco has the biggest.
When it happens, I'm going to replay this little clip.
So hopefully he does. And you know what?
I will. I know.
Taco, hear me. Get that sack.
Speaking of Tyrone Crawford, guys, he's the first Cowboys player in history, defensive lineman in history for the Cowboys to ever win Special Teams Player of the Week, which is kind of cool. I just want to say that. And Dak went trick-or-treating with 3 buddies and himself as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He was Leonardo. Which one? I don't know which one is that.
I think he's the purple one.
Okay, so there you go. I didn't know if Little G would have.
Ninja Turtles, yeah.
But yeah, so that's what's kind of interesting, guys. We talked about all this stuff. Yeah, I was going back to a little earlier news, guys, and yeah, we're good. Now, I did want to touch on the running back situation, which a lot of people want to talk about. And again, it's still kind of up in the air. My feeling and your feeling, our gut feeling, is that McFadden's going to be the main guy. Yeah. He's been arrested for 2 years, like you said. He doesn't know why he's been inactive for the season, but he's just waiting for his chance, and he's getting it now.
He's going to make the most of this chance, guys. Don't think McFadden's just going to sleep on it. And Cowboys, sorry, I just do want to touch on Cowboys abroad. He said Beasley gets over a headache in a week. Rico takes a whole season. About that, it's not just the concussions. From what we've heard, it had some kind of neck and jaw involvement as well. Guys, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know exactly what happened, but if he has some kind of a jaw problem or a neck problem, something that's going to take longer to heal, let's give him the time he needs to heal and get him back.
Yeah, it's either that or the Cowboys are saying this to kind of keep it going so they can put IR him if need be for the whole season. That seems more likely in a way because it is a concussion and they're trying to hold him off for next year because at this moment we really don't have to have him on the field. But I'm guessing also if it's just too close to call, just keep him here for another couple weeks as long as you can to make the decision. Kind of what we did with McFadden last season, and we kept him hanging on, and then we finally kept him on IR after an injury that he had basically at home in the offseason. So again, guys, and about McFadden, that's the key. He might be a little rusty, but he looked good, except for one fumble in preseason. But he looked good when he's out there this preseason. He looked a little Zeke-ish, I will say. I'm not comparing him, but I'm just saying he looked like he had that speed burst. He still, didn't look rusty is what my point is.
And remember, these 3 running backs together combined have their own strengths and weaknesses.
Yes, for sure. But Zeke is the allotment of all 3 combined.
Yes, guys, Zeke does not compare. Zeke is elite for a reason, and these other guys, I'm not saying they're not elite or they're not great, but
see, the good thing I like about, I'm going to kind of throw something out there. I don't know if anybody else has said this yet, but a thing I do like about our running back core, our 3 of them, is that even though they can't do all the things like Zeke can, so great, whether it's blocking, receiving, of course running, just reading, feeling the defense. Those are things that Zeke does. That's a complete back. Yeah. But these guys, they just don't do one thing. They're not just a big fullback that pounds it. Yeah, or they're not just a receiving back. All 3 of them can do at least 2 things. You know what I'm saying? 2 out of 5 things, you know?
I think with the exception of Alfred Morris a
little
bit.
But again, he's got better at blocking. He got better at going out for passes. So he is a little more of a threat. And plus, he's our speed burner, I guess, out of the 3 guys. Yeah. Rod Smith's more of a power guy, but he can catch out the backfield. You guys seen it. McFadden is like kind of a lesser version of Zeke in a way. But, runs upright, a little bit different. He might hit the hole even faster than Zeke has. So again, putting all these things together, defenses have to worry about not just a one-dimensional back with any of these guys. So again, when you put that with Dak as the leader, Dez, Witten, T. Will, Beasley, hopefully out there, and the rest of the offense, especially the offensive line. That's how you continue this hot streak that we are currently seeing from our Cowboy team. And I don't think we go that much farther down if we keep that momentum going and that blocking from our front line especially, and Dak making good decisions. Those 2 things are important in offense, which then in turn helps our defense and helps our defensive line attack Alex Smith, what someone said earlier, and that is the key to the game. But it starts with our offensive line and blocking for our running backs. And at practice today, I did want to say is that at practice we had in the way they line up and the running backs go through the machines and stuff like that, and through the drills, the individual drills. Usually the first one is the starter. McFadden was that person. Yeah. But don't read too much into that, because then later on, when they did the rotation with the quarterback, Alfred Morris was got the number 1 rotation. He was the first one, which usually means that he's the starter. So you see, they're trying to keep you guessing. Saying that they're going to run both these guys.
I think the point is that they are going to, but I do think that they are trying to keep other teams guessing and just not let them know who exactly is going to be their main number one guy.
That's the thing.
So it's harder for them to game.
They had
3 running backs.
Definitely, and I think that's the thing is I think they're going to use Morris and McFadden mainly, but you're going to see. I said Morris, will get like, what did I say? I think I said 10, and McFadden will get like 15 carries, and then you'll see like Rod Smith pulling up 5. 4. Yeah, 5. I think it's 3, 4, 5 on a drive. He can get a bunch of carries.
The problem is that there you're assuming the Cowboys will run the ball 30 times.
Well, no, I think that it depends on the game and the way it's going to come. If we have to pass our way back in the game or come back, throughout the game, then you're not going to have as much rushing. It's going to take us away from our strengths.
And
teams will beat us that way.
But I think again that does come down to the coaching. But I want to go ahead and catch up with the chat.
Well, yeah, but just before that, I promise it'll be 2 seconds. That I was saying that with individual drills and the machines and all that stuff, that McFadden was the leader in that group. He was the first one. But when they went to the other drills, the team drills, and they had rotations with running back, they started with Alfred Morris, number 1. The next person who came in was Rod Smith, and then the third person was McFadden, and then went back, of course, to the top to Alfred Morris. So they're really mixing it up and trying to just kind of just throw all the running backs out there with the first team, and because they're all going to play. And behind that line, it's only time. We just pound them and win.
So, Gary Stokes, again, that's the thing about that Rams game. We played an excellent game, but we blew it in key moments. And those, all it takes is one play or one moment or one thing. We let the Rams get the momentum back.
Especially in the second half.
Yeah, exactly. And then we never were able to control it. I think, who was it? Someone said it, Cowboys Abroad, he said, we played great for 3 quarters. We took the third quarter off, let the Rams gain momentum.
Right.
So
and in that third quarter, what did we do? We had 2 or 3 and outs. I think the last one went into the fourth quarter. Either way, or we had a first down and then we punted. We had 3 like that, 2 in a row. I mean, that's again, if you look what we did, we ran once and passed twice. Again, guys, I think you keep running the ball and stick with what's got you there. Well, you do best.
I agree. And then OMFG Google said, do you think Zeke will spend his time making commercials for Papa John's?
Yeah, who knows?
Unfortunately, I don't think many people are going to want to have Ezekiel Elliott as their sponsor right at this moment.
Yeah.
So
What's up,
Giants
Gary?
are going to upset the Rams. Denver will upset the Eagles. I don't know about that Giants one. I really hope that Denver one is true. But honestly, the way Denver's been playing, I don't know about that.
Yeah, Denver's in shambles right now, in disarray with their quarterback situation. Yeah. But if they cannot make mistakes on offense and just ton of C.J. Anderson it the whole game.
Yeah, or interceptions.
Well, that's the thing. As long as they don't give up the ball and they can play hard, I mean, I think that their defense can hang with the Eagles and give them a little trouble, especially at the left tackle spot with Jason Peters gone for the year. So 9-time Pro Bowler guys, every team needs to attack that side. I know they brought somebody in there, supposedly solid guy. He's going to take time to really learn the system. So is Jay Ajayi, and his 2, knees on knee, bone on bone.
Time for them to, again, there's still great players who are going to, give a lot of quality to the teams that they're on.
Yeah, and
now,
DJ Crown J, exactly. 3 different style running backs, more complicated for defense. That's exactly what you said. I mean, that's why the Cowboys held on to Rod Smith and special teams, and that's why they held on to Alfred Morris. That's why they held on to Darren McFadden and made him an active every week to keep them healthy.
That's why the Cowboys made some of the staffing decisions that they've made. So, guys, now it's just about how will they execute it? Can they execute it successfully? I have a lot of confidence in the rest of our Cowboys to step up and do what they have to do. I have confidence in that.
Yeah, especially in what Gary Stokes says, which we have a good O-line. I think we have a great O-line, and I think we were good.
Blocking much better.
Exactly. I think we were good the first couple of weeks, and even some bad games in Denver and a couple, but then we, in the Packer game, we gelled and we found consistency with Jonathan Cooper and got Chaz Green as the backup basically to our tackles.
Yeah, pretty much by having by solidifying Jonathan Cooper as a starter has improved the game so much and improved the offensive line quite a bit.
So I like what we did there. And again, I see that Gary Stokes says 3-3. We can go that way. Cowboys World says 4-2. DJ Crown J says 4-2. I agree, 4-2. And depending on how we do against these. Again, I say we split like the Chiefs, Falcons. Let's just say that, and then we have I don't know. We have to. I don't know which one we lose out there.
That's what I was going to ask you as kind of our end of stream wrap up. Let's look at these 6 games and really think. I see a few of you guys there giving your records. You guys think we'll be 3-3, 4-2,
4-2.
Let's start with each game with this Kansas one.
And again, DJ Crown J is right. If our coaches can adjust, that's how we go 4-2 or better.
Exactly.
We can get better than that.
And DJ Crown J, we've actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think the last 4 games we've scored over 30 points.
Yeah, I mean, this last one we scored 33. That's right.
So we had 33 and like 35 and then 30. Either way, my point is the last 4 games, we still lost like.
We had 40s, 40.
So yeah, guys, I'm just saying, keep that in mind. It's our offense. Has a lot of
I agree.
problems, but our offense is not the problem, and even our defense is kind of a problem, but not as much anymore.
I don't think it's as bad as long as the offense continues to do. If the offense fails us, the defense will fail us.
Exactly. But this time, thankfully, our team seems to have a very good synergy in the sense that when our offense does really well, it kind of helps out our defense, and then vice versa. Our defense was able to step
I agree with Gary Stokes. We should have beat the Rams and Packers. We've gone over this a million times on why we gave up those games in the second half because we started getting too cute. To quote Jason Garrett, Jonathan German. I don't know why people want the Eagles to lose. Let them get that first seed. Makes that that's a good point. That's a great point, Jonathan German. But again, I want to catch them and I want to beat them and I want to get
I don't want to give up and let them win the East.
And again, I mean, look, whatever happens. We know that the Cowboys not going to give up, but we want to fight it to the end.
At least we're not going to give up on our Cowboys. Can't speak for them.
I did want to say that. Let me see here. It's about coaching. Yes. Do I think the Patriots will lose any games moving forward? Yes, I do. They will lose some games. Not as many as last year. Or no, I'm sorry. They will lose as many as more than last year. I think.
So but I know this is random, but I think that they will lose at least one more. At least one more game to one of their divisional rivals. So it's either going to be Buffalo. Or the Jets came pretty close as well, which is crazy. And and the probably not the Dolphins.
Correct, Cowboys abroad.
Or either the Bills or the Jets will probably beat the Patriots. I think this year. Both, I know the Jets for sure came close. So let's see what happens. So,
I mean, again, everything that you guys are saying are right there about 33 points and a sloppy game, and we didn't play that great, and we still did that. Gary Stokes, our defense is the weak point of our team. It is unless the offense is controlling the game and is up by a little bit, then our defense becomes above average. Exactly. I believe. And you saw what happened last week when that happened, and the week before that against lesser teams. But again, who said the Redskins are that much lesser, guys? I mean, we had some help, I guess, with the weather, but I think that we did really good. And again, the blocking was solid, except for the holds.
Yeah, the weather alone did not win us that game because obviously, if not, then the Redskins could have.
And not only that, guys, we would have had more points if it wasn't for the holding calls. I mean, I know we can't have those. We'll lose most games if you do that, but. Those were touchdown drive killers, and then it turned into field goals by a solid Mike Nugent. So we got a lot of stuff. Why did we get rid of Wilcox?
Because he sucked.
He wanted more money, and again, he was our backup. He didn't suck. He was a hard hitter, but he was our backup.
He sucked for what he wanted us to pay him.
Exactly.
There you go.
And same thing with Church. Same thing with Carr. Same thing with Claiborne.
Yeah, they were not worth the money that they were
basically,
asking.
we just clean house.
Let other teams pay them that, I guess.
Well, again, DJ Crown J. That's where we're hoping about Uzi coming back, and cracking into some playing time, and then maybe can challenge AB for that spot, or they could put Awuzie back at safety and maybe move Byron Jones at its cornerback spot. We'll see, guys. I mean, Byron Jones played against a tight end for pretty much the whole entire game against the Redskins, and he played it pretty well for the most part, I believe. And he made some good stops and some big plays, and made a couple mistakes, but for the most part, I think he played well. And the defense played well. Now, let's see what that was against a decent team that has just as much of passing power than we do, So, and we still held them pretty well. So,
I think overall
Jordan Lewis didn't play great either, but
again, overall we played a good game. Some individual players played better than others, but guys, like I said, I want to go ahead and wrap up our stream here with our next 6-game no Zeke predictions. So we're going to take each team one by one. Guys, go ahead and join us in the chat as we call out these teams and say these games. Let us know your prediction. You can either, feel free to give us a score too if you think you want to give a score prediction as well. But let's go ahead. So, Kansas City Chiefs.
I mean, I already heard your thing. I think
I am going to say this is going to be one of the Cowboys' losses.
Okay, well, I think. Again, at home, I'd say it usually helps us. It's almost we're a better road team most of the time, but I think that Kansas City has come back down to earth a little bit. I think Andy Reid is a great coach, much better than Jason Garrett, obviously. But I do think that we have an opportunity to win this game, and I think that the main thing is going to come down to what we discussed. Controlling the ball against a team that is not great against the run. Against with that, then we'll increase our offense and we'll pin our ears back. Yes, you got to watch Kareem Hunt, but Kareem Hunt becomes Chris Thompson out there. You know what I'm saying? Which was the Redskins running back. He has to get a lot of passes. They won't be running as much. And, their receivers are not spectacular. Their tight end is their best thing. Byron Jones will be on him, on Travis Kelce. Yeah. So I think that if we can keep on top of them and stay on top of them at home, away from Kansas City, which is a very difficult place to play. Thankfully, we're in Dallas. That should be an advantage.
So do you think that because we're home, you're going to call this one a win for now?
I'm not because we're home.
I'm not saying you're definitely going to win.
I think, in contrary to what most people are saying about being, like you said about being down about this, I think the Cowboys are actually going to rally together and actually say it's us against the world kind of mentality. I do think that they were ready for this for a long time. They were ready for this day, and now it's here. And they're hungry for it. And I do truly think this is going to be a victory for the Cowboys. I think the Falcon game is going to be a more possible loss because of their passing game.
It's funny because I have that flipped around. I actually think that, the Falcons are actually the team that we can beat. Again, because they do pass more, I have a feeling that's going to be one of the few games we do get an interception. I know Matt Ryan's amazing. Obviously the Falcons were in the Super Bowl last year. I'm not going to knock them at all. But if there's going to be a game that we get an interception or we kind of flip it around, and again, the Falcons have been playing kind of up and down, not quite the
mainly
same team
down.
we saw last year. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like we can go in there with the right energy, and I think the Cowboys can definitely do it. And again, their new stadium, all that, pretty much Cowboy fans, we know road games sometimes are better. I don't know. I just have a good feeling about that Falcons game. I call that one a win for us.
I think that again, I'm not saying they don't have a chance. I think we can win that game. I think we might have trouble with the Giants in New York. That's one of the trouble games, I think. But I think that the Falcons, we can still beat them. I just think that out of those two games, because we're at home, because we're us against the world kind of mentality, I think this is going to help us in a way. And it's going to make us less readable to a team that's coming off a 6-day turnaround from the Monday Night Football game. And we know the coaches and staff have already been analyzing us. That's what they usually do. Like a week before, they probably already started. But, to make the adjustments they have to make now with Zeke out, yes, they can do it. Every team can do that. But how effective will it be? And again, guys, remember, their linebackers are either coming back from injury and just starting practicing, or injured, or limited at practice or out of practice. So again, guys, there's 3 guys that are banged up. So, and they have a not that great running game. Defensive run stop game. Passing game much better. They put pressure on you, but our offensive line is solid, and we're getting better every week, guys. We're ready, and I think that's why we're going to beat Kansas City, and we have a chance to beat Atlanta. Yeah. Although I think that's going to be the one we might lose, and then we get the Eagles.
The big showdown. I'm going to say the crazy prediction. One of these games we're going to win by a field goal. One of these games is going to be a last minute, like Nugent's going to come in the clutch, or hopefully Bailey.
Well, what about overtime last year with the Eagles? So that's the next game in Dallas, in Big D.
I do think Eagles, this one's just very tough. These divisional games pretty much level the playing field because they can go either way with, the Eagles banged up or us banged up or missing Zeke. I think that because it's a home game, or it is a home.
It's a home game.
Yeah, because
it's a Sunday night game, national television.
I'm gonna say our Cowboys are gonna pull through. The Cowboys are gonna win. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be bloody, and it's probably gonna be ugly, just like this past game. A little bit, a little ugly, a lot of dirty, a lot of emotions. I think the Cowboys are gonna win this one.
Now,
I think they can win that one.
The Eagle game, I do agree with you. I do agree we can win it. I'm not going to say it's. I think I'm more confident about the Chiefs game than the Eagle game, and more confident in the Chiefs game than the Falcon game, because the Eagles are going to play us tough. They want to beat us because they beat us last year, guys, at the end of the year without Zeke. They have to beat us without Zeke again, and I think that they're annoyed by that in a way because they really haven't beat us with Zeke. So they played us great last season when we had Zeke. We still won in overtime, and I think that even though the Eagles have improved, they're missing their linebacker, gone for the year. Peter's gone for the year. I think hopefully we can, and since they're a divisional team, and they'll be higher ranked than us, higher in the standings than us. That's going to help, I think, the Cowboys because we're the underdog, and we're going to be pumped. And I think the stadium's going to be rocking. And I do think that that's why we win that game against the Eagles.
That the energy and the
I think it's a tide turning game for our season, because if we win that game, I think the confidence is through the roof, and even if we lose against the Falcons, that it just sparks us up again. But again, guys, remember the Eagles do get a bye week when we play when we play the Falcons. The Eagles are on bye, so they got 2 weeks to prepare for us, guys. So they have all the advantage. Everything is in their corner, which I like. I like that. I like to be the underdog because I think this is where the Cowboys thrive. So we'll see what happens with that game. So then after that, it's a short turnaround week, Thanksgiving game, right? Who do they play?
They play the Chargers.
LA Chargers, yeah.
I mean,
their powder blue will be in our Navy, our Navy jerseys.
I'm not saying the Chargers are the worst team
Chargers
out there.
are definitely...
I'm just going to call it a win because I think that we will be able to outplay them. I think we have better players, and I think that our coaching staff makes better decisions.
Their defense is very good. Their defense is very good. Their defense is very good, the Chargers. And their offense with Phillip Rivers is never out of a game. But, that's a danger where they throw so much that they could have hit us where it hurts in our defensive backfield. It's going to be about getting pressure on him, make him get frustrated. He gets frustrated. He gets off his game. Make him throw bad passes. He throws a lot of picks sometimes. So I do
and that's why I said I think that
we'll turn it. And also we play well on Thanksgiving. We play well on Thanksgiving.
Historically, we do pretty well.
And again, we're charged up. It's a special game. So, us and the Lions always get that Thanksgiving game for whatever, 50 years, 55, whatever years it's been. So, the Thanksgiving game. So I think that's where, we'll win that game. I think it'll be closer than most might think.
Yeah.
Then a week later, which is a Thursday game,
that's right.
the Redskins in Dallas.
This one's a loss, guys.
Really?
Yeah. I know it sounds crazy, but Kirk Cousins is going to come with his beady little eyes, and he's going to look our defense straight into its heart, and he's going to say, I'm going to crush you. I think it's going to be one of those crazy games where, everyone's on fire. I know the Redskins, I think, barring any injuries, I think that if their offense suffers any more major injuries, like they've been having some offensive lineman problems and stuff, I think that could be the game changer. Because, again, that means...
Then you think they lose. The Redskins lose. Yeah.
But as of right now, I'm going to say that the Redskins are going to beat us the next time we see them.
I disagree. Because I think that by then, the Redskins will kind of be...
Have we agreed on any other than Chargers?
Hey, that's why it's good, right? We don't even know... I didn't know what she was going to say. We're giving you two different perspectives here without being fake, like on... Because we agree, we'd definitely say...
Yeah, guys. Yeah, I'm not... Sorry. I love him, but I'm not just going to agree with him because he...
So, guys, I mean, I do think that... I disagree with you because I think the Redskins... will be a defeated team by then. I don't mean that they'll be out of it. They could play spoiler, but I think that maybe by then, with all these injuries, are still going to carry on for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. By the time they play us, they might only win 1 game or 2 games of 4 or 5. Yes. So by that point,
but do you think they have even more motivation to beat us?
Well, again, they're the underdog now, but they're playing, and I will agree. Kirk Cousins will hurt us more when he has good conditions.
I know, and the thing
is,
which
will be good conditions in Dallas.
As much as I love the Cowboys playing at home and stuff. We do have, I hate to say that we're a better road team, but we are a better road team. And again, against a divisional rival, it's the Redskins and all those other things you guys know.
I've been giving the Cowboys 1 loss, so you give them like 3. Blasphemy.
Well, I'm trying to be real. But
hey, good.
I disagree with you about the Giants, though. I think that barring any crazy weather, barring like a snowstorm, which is pretty much... Like, barring a snowstorm, the Cowboys will beat the Giants.
I think
in New York.
And again, I think that the snowstorm...
On Judge Fire's face.
Again, we're disagreeing twice. I think with a snowstorm, we win. Is that what you're saying?
No, I say a snowstorm would be bad for us because I feel like the Giants' defense at that point would...
Oh, good point. You sideswiped me there.
I don't know.
Okay, so maybe I agree with that.
I don't know. That's I disagree. I'm looking at it in that perspective. I think that the Giants' defense, if they, with the cold and the snow and everything else, and again, the big key here is the Cowboys staff coaching decisions.
Right.
They're not going to adjust certain things to accommodate for that weather, and I do have the feeling Dak is going to get picked off in that game, and they'll run it back, pick 6, or again, I just think their defense is going to really step up, and they're going to feel the weather, and they're going to take the momentum, and again, New York is a tricky place to play.
Okay, so, I mean, again, as some people are saying here, and Cowboys, I don't think we're going to lose to the Redskins. Yeah. And just for note, guys, that's going to be our Navy jerseys. And
if we do happen to lose to the Redskins, guys, I'm right.
Okay. The Thanksgiving game, they're going to be wearing our Navy jerseys. The next week against the Redskins, we're wearing our throwback jerseys. And then the next week after that against the Giants, which, again, I think we're going to beat the Redskins.
Yeah.
I think, then I think we're going to... I think you just say we're going to beat we both agree with beating the Chargers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. There we go. See, we agree on that one. But the Giants game, I think, that's a trap game. That's a game that we could lose. We get Zeke the next week. So we're looking forward to that. The Giants are just hungry to knock somebody out, especially the Cowboys, and hurt us. They have a great, like you said, a great defense with or without bad weather. It's going to be difficult against the Giants, guys. And again, that hurts us on defense. Yeah. It hurts our defense because now we don't have that ability to really attack Eli and his scrub butt. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I don't think he's good to start. I think he's average to start with. And when he gets time, he's a little better than average. But that's as best as I can say. He goes through great streaks to win Super Bowls, and that's congratulations to him for that. But overall, as a quarterback, I don't think he's consistent enough to be considered great. And so he's an okay quarterback, and even worse when he has no offensive line. But that's why we need to get on top of the Giants and score somehow. We need to run that ball and score. We can't look past the Giants because there might be 2 or 3 wins, and we got to really be serious. I think we lose that game. I think let me put this. I don't think we lose. I think we could win them all. That's why I can't say we lose any games.
Guys,
but I think we can.
With a grain of
salt,
I think we
can. I think we can win the Giants game, but I think that's the one. That's a tricky one. I think the Charger game is going to be closer. People think the Redskin game at home is going to be close as well. The Eagle game is going to be a battle on Sunday Night Football. I'm going backwards now, but the Falcon game I think is the other one we lose, and the Chiefs I think we win. That's my breakdown again. Like you said, take it with a grain of salt because things change every week, guys.
I personally think we are going to lose to the Chiefs. I think we will actually beat Atlanta. I think again the Eagles game could go either way, but let's be real, guys. Let's just call it an L for now. I think the Cowboys without Zeke are probably going to go 3-3. I think it's likely. I think that they can go 5-1. I think the only team that I see
losing for sure is Atlanta. Washington.
I would say no. I would probably put the Eagles there. Right. I would put the just
fair
because,
enough.
Again,
that makes sense.
They're divisional. They're playing so well, and the Chiefs, the only reason I wouldn't say the Chiefs is because of the short turnaround and some of the other things. If not, I would say the Chiefs would be that game.
Right. No, I know.
But I think one of them for sure is there.
Cowboys abroad. I was saying Cowboys abroad. The Cowboys wear color rush jerseys against the Giants in December in New York. The Giants are wearing their color rush and they're all white. Cowboys going to be all navy. Should be cool. I've never seen them in that uniform, so let's see how they look out there. We are on Facebook. We have My Cowboys Family. We have a Facebook page there. We have a Twitter page. Follow us there. We got a lot of uploads there. We have the new Law Nation complete video of the game in 30 minutes and just cuts scene by scene, so it's really good. Check that out, guys. It's all on there on our Twitter site. We have a Facebook site. We have of course this is our main site here through YouTube. So we also have a PlayStation 4 streams, which, guys, by the way, there's a chance tonight that I might have a chance to play one of my games. I might stream that later tonight. Just keep that in your back of your heads in case you do want to join me for that. We'll talk more football if anything new comes up. But if not, I'll still be playing probably my game later tonight. Get that over with so everybody can move on to the next week.
Yeah, and thanks, Gary. Like I said, I learned 99.9% of it from him. But I have my own opinions and my own thoughts from what I see happening. And again, our Cowboys have so much talent, so much potential, and I think mentality-wise, they have what it takes.
Yeah, for sure.
But our coaching staff holds us back, and the teams, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? The discipline. There we go. And I think the team's discipline overall. I think even though they have the right mindset
and conditioning,
I think that conditioning not as much. Knock on
all the injuries. No, I'm saying
all the injuries. I mean. I'm sorry, we've gotten very lucky so far that
I'm just saying that hamstring injuries is like a nonstop issue throughout the whole training camp, throughout the whole season.
I agree, but
and we go to Denver. When we go to Denver, we don't even condition properly for that game in altitude. Anyways, that's
to me that kind of ties into the coaching thing. But guys, all these things together, I think the Cowboys can do it. Let's see what happens with the Chiefs game. Obviously, number one,
game by game, guys.
Yeah, day by day. With Beasley and all these other guys. And thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
I mean, we got a whole bunch of guys in here. Yeah. Hit that like button.
Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, guys.
Yeah, hit the notification bell for sure, guys. We're going to kind of shut it down here.
We have a Giants Suck Facebook page. I'm going to go like it.
Yes.
And then I don't play Call of Duty. I don't think you play Call of Duty.
No, I don't. So. No, I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. Lame, but if you're getting the new Pokemon game, talk to me then. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. We're going to go ahead and head out.
Yeah, guys.
Make sure to hit the notification bell as well. We'll be updating you guys throughout the week and especially tomorrow.
Yeah, there might be
any breaking news.
Yeah, any go lives.
Appeal. We don't know if the court.
Could hear it technically tomorrow.
Yeah. So
they said by Friday is probably the earliest. So
yeah, and of course Cole Beasley, if we do see that he is out of that concussion protocol, we'll be breaking that news as soon as we hear it.
Yeah, for sure, guys. So definitely hit that the notification bell. Make sure it's turned on. Hit subscribe if you're new. Hit
Bobby
like.
Johnson, thanks for joining us.
Everybody, thank you.
Not just for Zeke, but for all of them all together. So Zeke can come back and help the team.
Yeah, wait till he comes back. If we can go 4-2 and Zeke comes back, guys, beware for the whole NFL. Beware. I agree. Even 3-3, we still have a shot.
I want to see that Tom Brady moment where Tom Brady gets
Kevin
the trophy
Bilbo. Let's go Cowboys.
From Goodell.
Yeah, rip it out of his hands.
And just gave him this look like, I got it, even
you.
though you tried to pull me down. I want to see Zeke get his vindication moment the same way the whole Cowboys
Thanks,
team
Gary.
does.
Thanks, everybody out there, guys. And thank you, baby, for everything. All the Zeke information earlier in the stream, check it out. She broke it down pretty well. And, we try to do our best, guys. So thank you. Hit that like for the stream.
Make sure to subscribe. And
for sure.
As always, guys.
As always. Go Cowboys! Peace out. And go Cowboys.